We just left a very important event where we witnessed a play designed to highlight the relationship between Liberians and Americans for the purpose of the lobbying effort for green card for our people. We had the opportunity to participate in a panel discussion that involved Keith Ellison, Congressman Keith Ellison, who's at the forefront of this lobbying effort. And what we've gathered from that process is we have a lot of work ahead of us to do. This organization needs to get serious. We need to take our act to the next level. A part of that is very soon we're going to be discussing what we spoke of during the installation of our establishing our own political action committee. That was something that incidentally the congressman brought up to me in our discussions, private discussions. That was something very critical for us to do. There's also a letter here to the various senators. I can keep it there, we'll distribute that in the back. It's a letter to the senators that we need signatures on to help the petition on behalf of our people that are on temporary status. The reason we call this meeting is to honor our promise of transparency, that whatever happens in this organization is going to be visible to you, to the community. So we want to bring to your attention some issues which we are encountering, which we believe to be counter to the interests of this organization in our community. We also want to have a discussion to gain consensus on the way forward, because we are contemplating a number of steps which we do believe will bring resolution to the problems we're encountering. And you need to be informed. We need your input as we go forward. On a general level, the problems we're encountering have to do with the fact that the transition to our administration has not been a smooth one. We are facing difficulties with the overall transition process, which the transition chair, co-chair will brief us on at a later point in these discussions. Before we go ahead, we need a volunteer timekeeper. Taylor, you're going to be doing minutes. Reverend, can you do, Jacob, can you be our timekeeper there based on that agenda so that we can stay on time, stay on target? And the parliamentarian should be here. So, as I was saying, the transition has not been a smooth one. On a general level and on a specific level, and we want to discuss these issues with you. The most disappointing is the fact that the Elections Commission has decided to defy our request to turn over the proceeds of the elections funds to the treasurer since January 7th. For those of you who read on the internet, you saw a long diatribe to a very polite 5-line letter requesting him, according to administrative procedure, to turn over organization funds to the treasurer. That's the constitutional responsibility of the treasurer. We don't understand why. We've taken the route of working through even intermediaries, some of who do not live in Minnesota. Just any way we can move forward. Francis Eze has made 5 promises that he's broken. The first promise was back January 12th. That came and went. Others came and went. The ministers got involved. As a result, we canceled the town hall meeting last week. And then finally, right here at this very spot, the former board chair, Marie Hayes, Pastor Howard, myself, Ketana, we all resolved that the report would be delivered on Monday to the old board. The Elections Commission insists on dealing to the old board, which is strange. We've had an election, we've had installation, but for some reason they insist that they will deal with the old board. We bent backwards on that. And to my dismay, I got a call from Marie Hayes on Monday night to say that the Elections Commission is turning over $3,500 as partial payment, and that they want till February 5th to complete the report. We've heard justifications such as the voters registration subcommittee has not completed their report, so this is the holdup. We've heard other stories, and the voter registration group is saying that that is not the case. Joe Seeley, who's responsible for finance, told me on January 7th, hold on when I got 1 minute more, that I got 2 minutes, okay, told us on January 7th that his financial report was ready. And so we don't know what the holdup is. And we're prepared to take decisive action because we cannot allow a few individuals to hold back the progress of the community. We have serious work to do. Accountability is a very important concept in this scheme of things. We brave the cold to go out and pay our resources for the benefit of this organization. It needs to be made available to the legal custodians of this organization. We're entitled to have the report. We've even said that if you're not completely done with the report, turn over all of the finances to the treasurer, because that's who should be holding our finances. You can even prepare a partial report, because we need visibility to what's going on. Reports are done in business and government all the time, where you have the items that have been completed and the items that remain to be completed. But as it stands, this administration, this board has zero visibility to anything. All we've gotten is defiance and abuses, and that is a direct disrespect to your mandate. And this is why you need to be aware of this. And the transition process is such that everything has been so problematic. We have to go through backdoor channels to even get the telephone number transfer, which we succeeded in doing, which will happen on Wednesday, to get the voicemail ID. And it's not a healthy thing. Martha Simon stood right in this place and said that she's going to work with this administration and she supports the Liberian community. So we urge you to ask Martha to let her word and her deeds match, because so far our experience has been that it's not the case. We went to pick up the office equipment, the computer, they were gone. Our transition chair and vice presidential running mate George Morris said, oh, I will call the landlord. He said, all he needs is that. No, our transition people went to the landlord and said, all we need is a phone call from George Morris and Martha Simon. Because when you sign a commercial lease or small business lease, it's usually signed as an individual doing business as. If you look at the lease for Acme Mortgage Corporation, it's signed by Kerper doing business as Acme Mortgage Corporation. So all it's taking is a phone call from them to the landlord to say, these are the new leaders of the organization. Please turn the equipment over to them. It's been 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, going on 4 weeks. That's not happening. We need the website, and for planning the inaugural ball, one of the things we need to do is to advertise business sponsors on the website. We don't even have from them yet what is the domain name, the password, contact, and all that. So we're in a difficult situation. We've tried everything we can do, and it's time, in our judgment, that you get involved. So I want to thank you very much. At this point, we'll turn it over for to get a brief statement from the board before we go into the rest of our agenda.
Good evening, fellow Liberians. Good evening. On behalf of Honorable Ato Zakama, the chairman of the board, who could not be here this evening due to family engagement, and the entire board of directors, I want to thank you for putting aside your busy day a busy engagement to be here this evening. We are very glad you are here. As the President just said, the board is very concerned. It's concerned because there have been ups and downs in the transition process. The Michael Sando administration is not cooperating. The election commission is not forthcoming. Those are serious concerns. We want to register this. It is the position of the board that both the election commission and Michael Sando cooperate in accordance with the constitution of the organization. We want to put those two entities on record that we were elected on accountability and transparency. We will not allow any one individual, anyone to undermine anything, to undermine the development of the community. We will do everything in our power to prevent that. Again, the President presents this to you. We want you to deliberate, and we just hope that we can reach a compromise so that we can move forward. Thank you for coming, and God bless this deliberation.
Any other elections commissioners here who would like to make a comment to this community?
Yeah.
Commissioner Desipano.
Thank you very much. Hi, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, members of the board. May I greet you all as honorable ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me? Well, whether we are consider myself as a commissioner, or just ordinary member of the community, I think it's very important that we come up here today, because when I accepted the responsibility to serve on the commission for the second time, being the only veteran, I did it for my community. And I'm not going to allow anybody to jeopardize my own intention for this community. I believe this is a stepping stone for me, especially preparing myself to go to Liberia. I know when I entered Liberia, the next day, email came from Minnesota that Jesse Franco was involved in the election process and never accounted for the people funds. When I served on the commission, I think due to our own engagement, we decided to co-chair a subcommittee called voter registration. And elections were held on December 2nd. Again, being a public administration personnel, I believe in chain of command. So I am not speaking for the election commission. I am speaking for a subcommittee within the election commission. I hope that will go very clear. I hope the media institution will get that very clear. Jesse Farmer is not speaking for the election commission. We're only speaking for the voter registration. I understand that information out there that I'm hearing about investment. The bush chicken and other people said the election commission engaged in investment. How can we come to that conclusion when there's no report so far to justify your claim? As far as I'm concerned, from the voter registration perspective, there's nothing like investment. A normal clarification that brought me here today as the commissioner is to clarify that the voter registration BH report, there are outstanding reports, but it has nothing to do with financial aspects. That should be very clear. Elections were held December 2nd, and our reports were ready, presented to the commission on December 4th. 2 days, we had 3 days of sleepless night. We made our duty to make our report by December 2nd. If the audit committee deemed it necessary, we're going to forward an email to them in due course. But for now, here is a snapshot of what we did on the commission. I served as co-chairman on that commission. And Honorable Chris Wisner served as chairman. I guess he's trying to wait, but I consider with him before coming out here. So I'm speaking for the voter registration. Total ballot printed 3,000. Voter registration card 3,000. Being a veteran on the commission, I advise the commission that we should not give our voter registration cards to the various counts. Because experience tells us that the losing party will never cooperate once they have the voter registration cards. And that's the result we found ourselves in today. But again, let me stress, the outstanding voter registration material has nothing to do with financial reports. As far as I'm concerned, the financial reports should have been made up to this date. Total ballot use, both voted and used, is 1,767. Ballots on hand is 1,233. Total cash turned over as of December 4. Total cash collected from the various camps and during the day of election as of December 4. $7,880, representing 1,576 voters. Total cash turned over from the voter registration team or subcommittee, $7,880. That report was submitted via email and was discussed cash turned over to the finance committee. I think if I heard the president correctly, the finance committee, in person by Joseph State, said he has his report. I think there's a lot of politics going on here. We have policy differences. I do not agree that this commission should be making report to the whole administration. That's very clear. We should deal with the administration, the how public administration work. One of the outstanding issues when it comes to voter registration, as you clearly heard, I said that the losing parties are predated and it came to Rio. As of today's date, out of the 320 voter registration cards that was going to the Madison team, up to now, we never saw a report for 184. The Kerper team, we never saw a report for 87. The Russell team, we never saw a report for 313. The Jashi Joy team, we never saw a report for 187. These are outstanding ballots, and I believe from the total voter registration card or voter ballot issue of 107,767, we have outstanding of $955. So indeed, the camps did registration, but they failed to bring it back to us. That's the issue. But again, that issue has nothing to do with financial reports. We made our reports, we submitted it, and I handled the physical cash and gave it to the chairman of the finance committee. Let me emphasize, for the goal, John Batty still owed the election commission 217 voter registration cards, and I believe that he registered those people, if not all, but at least some. Edward Castle, Henry Castle, sorry. Up to now, 57 voter registration cards still outstanding with him. Honorable Elijah Combe, 78. So total 1,123 voter registration cards are still outstanding. And I believe, from the bottom of my heart, these candidates did some registration and refused to bring the money back to us. When it comes to the 300 ballots of voter registration card printed, we have 5,615. I just projection, but I know somebody called me and said, oh, well, 20,000 people voted. No, that was false. The total voter registration card, ballot issue was 1,767, including vote ballots. Again, my fellow Liberians, we got a long way to go. But this community needs to be unified. We should not allow personal embarrassment to overshadow the people's will. Many of the commissioners enter this process with a preset mind. Well, I went there with a clear mind, not supporting any candidate. And I said, I will work this administration in any means to make sure that people are safe already. We have suffered for too long, and it's time to unify this community. I'm open to all the committee. I'm open to anybody who asks questions. As I said, the other committee is ready. We're going to forward our email reports to the community. But again, the voter registration is clear on this. They are outstanding voter registration cards, but it has nothing to do with financial reports. It has nothing to do with financial reports. As the president already said, when we made our first report, we said we were progressive, hoping that the losing camps, including the winning camp, was going to get back to us. That's why we said progressive. In government, we have progressive reports. The current administration is asking for cash. We have no need to hold the cash back. Or to say, well, I'm not pleased with this administration, let me report to the old board or the old executive. The old executive, as far as we are concerned, they are old. We should deal with the administration. The election commission should do everything possible, or this administration should do everything possible to make sure that the report, when it comes to financial report, be received. Let me make this recommendation before I take my seat. This was my second time serving on the election commission. And I've always said when it comes to finances, we have problems. If we cannot even have a community hall at the end of this administration, but one thing I want for the administration to do is to make sure that no election commission from today's day forward should never handle financial matters when it comes to registration. But if not, we will always boil down to the same thing. The election commission, I said, if I were the current administration, we will hold funds. This is the second time, and that's an appeal to you, Mr. Boyle. No election commission. If you any funds, I think that would be more forward. But again, I feel sorry for you. Because you cannot work with all funds. When somebody comes and says, well, the election commission made $3,500. Hey, I have not gone because I was not concerned with financial aspect. I don't know what an income and expenditure. But one thing that I know in accounting, when it comes to finances, I want the GPA report. Income versus expenditure. That's all the community needs. Again, I'm not going to take questions as a commissioner. If you have any question when it comes to voter registration, I will be happy to do that. To answer the question. Thank you very much.
I registered 1,400. That's what we got. Out of the 320, and I returned 40 tickets. So, and you see the signature.
Is that what's your signature?
I cannot be about business signature.
At the beginning, when I went to get the registration form, this is what he gave me, his signature, everything, wish list, and my signature on there. When I returned it, this is where he wrote the receipt and everything. And for the board members, I took their money to him, and he did give me receipts, but he and Mr. Bati, they gave him his ticket was not in sequence, and so Mr. Wisdom told me he was going to check it up, make it in sequence for him to tell me how much it was. But the total we gave him joining the board members and our money was $2,170, and this is the receipt. So if any audit come, they can just do all the auditing I have on my receipt. But from the Doyen's camp, no.
We submitted a report. She has all the receipt. I have a photocopy. Mr. Zeze has it. You were there, Jesse Pango, when I went into the hall to pay for the ticket. As we stand legally, I can go to court now suing the election commission and the committee of characters. All the receipts are there. The photocopy, the original receipt. He received it. They have all the papers there. The only problem now was they were not in sequence. And you were there when we had our discussion. Even you're giving less than what I want, you know that. 2 or 3. You, me, and Zeze. He later on joined us. The photocopies, the receipts are here. I'm shocked that now my character is being defamed. In fact, I will call and they say, thank you, Mr. Bati, you are the most organized person now. I'm the most disorganized person. So, please. We have all the receipts, but I gave us 48 hours. If not, I'll go to collect this.
No, don't I appeal to you to hold. We'll take the audience later on, but I think that means consider people do you have a comment? Okay. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're talking about here. My understanding here is that the communication between the commission and the people named here has not been what it needs to be. And this is what happens when you don't move, what did you say, a progressive report. And I think everyone needed to recall to the table a long time ago in December to say, okay, this is a situation, and then you reconcile it and move forward. But we're in a state of no go forward. And we have to cross this stage. We have to move from this state to the state where we have understanding and visibility to exactly what has happened. Yeah. Marie, did you want to make a comment? I saw your hand up.
I have a question for
to say something here. We will sit and keep asking people to verify their reports. And the issue, Mr. Fargan here says that he's speaking as voter registration person.
Yeah.
And I think until we get a final report that indicates this, then these people can clear their name. I know it's difficult when you come out here and somebody gives a partial report and say, according to my report, this has not been done, this has not been done. And Chris Wisner is not here to verify those signatures. So I guess it will be best that we hear what others have to say about this report and move on and let these people know that they can get in touch with the commission later to clear their names instead of trying to clear their heads.
Yeah, that's important. Chris Wisner promised me he'll be at this meeting, so we're somewhat disappointed that he's not here. Sorry.
Mr. Pongo, do you by any chance have a electronic copy of what you just explained?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Can you forward that to some people in this
I said upon request, it can be forwarded.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, good to see you.
I have a question for Jesse. You keep saying the voter registration is not part of the financial report, and you know the origin of the financial report is from the total voter registration and the money collected from all of the candidates. And we're looking at a total of 16,000 plus. Why you keep saying the voter registration is not part of the financial report? What's the difference?
I think if you got me clear what I said, that you keep hearing that the voter registration people are holding on to the financial report. The finances were given out. Okay, Mr. Duran just said, well, let's have the cash on hand, we can discuss the actual report. Okay, so we do not know whether the various parties did registration, whether they have money. So should we say that we have 10,000 out there, that we are not sure of? So I'm looking at the count out there, the big count, not cash.
So what you're saying is you give out the voter registration and the people use it to vote and you're not sure the money is coming in.
I'm not sure.
So who's going to be held responsible for that error?
That's what we are discussing here.
Yes, Sam.
First, let me applaud you, Mr. President, for your courage to uphold your promise. It's not an easy thing to make promise as a leader to win votes and carry through with a promise. I think this is a clear demonstration of your intent to lead this community. So this, I salute you. But having listened to you and of course one member of the commission, though he said he's speaking in the capacity of Jesse Funger and not a commissioner, I also found it somewhat difficult to differentiate the two. The very commissioner is the very Jesse Funger, so how do you distinguish the two? Not only that, to complicate more issues, we are hearing information that is incorrect. Two of the supported accused, your camp of course, and Mr. Batty, I also said that no, wait a minute, this is not correct. So I would suggest, I think if I listen to you, Mr. President, you said that the commissioner said, the chairman of the commissioner said, the commissioner said that by February, we're going to get back to you, is that right?
Yes, that's February 5th, yeah.
I will ask you in the public manner to allow that time to elapse before we can move forward, because you're talking about finances. It's very clear with the information given right before us. You see some inconsistencies. Even your very self, your camp is accused. So it tells you that something is wrong somewhere. Either the commissioners are not communicating among themselves, or there's something somewhere. So to put you in the position of lead, I would ask that you please wait for February 5th. After then at least you have the guidance to operate, because that's the commissioner's own word, going against his word. If you ask me, that's how I would proceed. But thank you for your leadership so far.
Thank you. You know, I would love to do nothing more than to grant that request. But on Tuesday, at a joint emergency meeting of the board and the executive, we decided to reject that request because that represents the 6th request for a new date. When somebody has broken a promise only 5 different times, and then they come back and ask for number 6, do you grant that, seriously believing that they will meet that promise?
One second, this is a request and informing us as a community.
Can I make some clarification, please?
Yeah, so, this is where we are, and this is why we brought it to escalate to this level, because we're prepared to continue the escalation. Because they have, Francis boasts 2 master's degrees, both in finance and accounting. Joseph Seeley, the financial guy, boasts 2 master's degrees, both in finance and accounting. I find it very difficult to understand why they need more than 2 months to put together a report for less than 1,800 people paying $5, and maybe 6 or 7 or 8 cost items. We're dealing with bad faith here, and let's not kid ourselves. Yeah. Jeff Kerper.
Thank you, Mr. President. If you could just give us some understanding of what the constitutional provisions inform us with respect to infractions of this nature. And then perhaps we can take from it, we can go from there, because as of this point we don't know what the Constitution of OLM says in cases like this. I mean, I appreciate the fact that you can come to the Liberian people that mandated you to lead this community, but this is a country of law. Minnesota is part of this country. Our community is part of Minnesota, and we are under the law of this state, and besides that, we have an organization that has a constitution. What's here the Constitution with respect to this kind of acts?
The Constitution does not deal with these kinds of issues specifically. What it does do is give the administrative powers to the executive, headed by the president, and the policy-making powers to the board. We have several options. We can sit here and do nothing and say, okay, we'll let it be so, Francis, I want to, what happened, let it happen, we'll move on. That's option 1. The other option is we can grant them an extension and be disappointed, for the 6th time, and then we'll be in February. The other option is to pursue legal action to force compliance. We're in discussions. I have a number of meetings this week coming up to have discussions with lawyers who want to consider helping the OLM. If we take that step, once we take that step, whoever is responsible for creating the situation, we're going to go after them to the fullest extent possible. If it means that we pursue civil charges, we will go after them for monetary damages caused this organization, seek punitive damages, we'll put a lien on the house, we'll take the shirt off their back for hurting this community. If we have the means to pursue criminal charges, it will be turned over to the Hennepin County prosecutor.
Yeah.
So we are getting legal consultation. People should not take this for a joke. We're not here to joke about this matter. We all went to school. For a person to have a master's degree and tell me they're going to report to an old administration and an old board, people who haven't even passed 6th grade know better than that. We are dealing with bad faith, and we're not going to accept that. This community has a huge challenge. We have people who have serious problems, who have serious issues. We have serious work to do, and we will not tolerate this kind of hanky-panky. I mean, if you still want to make it right, yeah.
So when I came here on Sunday, I said, okay, since I'm back, at least to try to do what I can, and I have asked Mr. Kerper to make sure that we go through this transition, and I will stand here and say that I am even disappointed that our own vote transition is not complete. And this is the schedule that I have worked out with them and say, if you have any discrepancy in any report, contact Mr. Fagan, contact Mr. Witness, and get all of those reports in, even if the report is not complete. If somebody don't want to come in with the report that they have to give, let's make sure we get all of them.
We see your upside down. Because the fact that whatever Madam Hayes read is very ambiguous. I read all these things, I think about it. It's very ambiguous. It could mean then that they could go back 2 years to the next vote. Because it did not specify whatever vote it is.
Yeah.
But in our own mind as intelligent people, as educated people, we should know that it should be the incumbent on the present vote. To even come in to say that we will talk to Zizi, that we are appealing to him. Zizi owns the brown community a report. We don't need to appeal to him. Don't be realistic about this. We own all that responsibility to report to us. And I would appreciate if the former board, if the very want to do a very service based on our own integrity and our own intellectual approach. Because they are educated. They should know that when you are former, nobody needs to report to you. Not be realistic about this. It's about people who try to impose and suffer the brown community toward the higher power. And we will be very clear about this. And but I hate to all due respect to you. You should be one person on this forefront and tell this, you know what, you don't need the report to become out. In this country, nobody report to a former congressman. Why are we reading our thing upside down? Why are we reading our own education upside down? We are not kids here. We all have educated at least beyond high school level. So to come here and presume that we should be things to say, you know, by the putting money, you can do this, that's an insult to our integrity and our own education level. So we should respect it. And Mr. President will say this, for me, in my own breath, and you know me for that. If I were you, therefore I met you. I will have been in court today and today is having an injunction on him to report to the French community. Don't be ready for this. There is overdue and the French people say the French community by branch. It's wrong, it's a wrong precedent, and all of it. And I'll call Kerper before I came in. I say, you know, if you know somebody get a degree outside down. I don't hold the institution in question, I hold the individual in question. Because the institution will teach you right, but you can decide to do the other thing right. So you bring a quite a better problem on your own level of education and your institution from which you come. And we must say this, we have to be very strict on ourselves that we have intellectual progress, we understand what is right and what is wrong.
Orland at all times has only one board. Orland at all times has only one president, only one treasurer. There's no question about which board. So,
President, there's an information issue.
I may not recognize you.
please, you're not recognized. We, for the sake of expediency, based on our own personal confidence in the former board chair, right here allow her to be a conduit for the report based on the promise that the report was going to be made last Monday. It was a limited, if you can call it, power of attorney. This man has made 5 other promises. If he says he will bring it up on commission. When you are on a commission, the chairman of that commission is not your boss. You are an equal member of that entity with equal responsibilities, equal obligations. That chairman is only a spokesperson for your decisions. when we take legal action against the Election Commission, it will be against the entire commission as individuals as well. So they will have to step up in court to see and prove how they exercised their mandate, whether they were diligent to the Liberian community or whether they failed the Liberian community. And if they failed the Liberian community, we will hold them responsible. All of these commissioners need to step up to the plate, carry out their responsibilities instead of hiding behind ZZ.